Alrighty, welcome to the video, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the importance of adding in regular deloads into your running routine. Now, this video can also be applied to any other training routine as well, as these principles will carry over. So these tips and techniques will also apply to you. So if you're a runner, you've probably experienced some of these following things: injury, lack of motivation, reaching a plateau, or all of the above. So in this video I'll be explaining the importance of having a regular deload week planned into your running routine and how it will help you avoid all of those problems while improving your running abilities and enjoying the process a whole lot more. Personally, this is one of the most effective techniques I've employed in recent years into my running schedule, and it has done wonders on not only my physical health and running progress, but also my mental health. So let's get into the video. So first off, what exactly is a deload week? Basically, this is a week where we reduce our overall training volume so we can allow our body to recover and adapt to all of the training we've been doing prior to this week, which will allow us to then feel refreshed, recovered, and ready to reach a new level of performance. Generally speaking, this reduction of volume is around 50% compared to your average week of training. So how often should we introduce a deload week into a long-term running plan? So this will depend on a few factors such as your running experience, your running abilities, your running intensity, and also other lifestyle commitments you may have, such as work, family, friends, holidays, and other things of that nature. We also need to consider if we're just running for general health, or if we're currently training for an upcoming running race and we're in the middle of a specific training block. But to keep it simple and to cover a broader spectrum for this video, as a general rule of thumb that allows most people to benefit greatly is introducing a deload every 4 to 8 weeks. This means 3 to 7 sequential weeks of consistent and high quality training, followed by a week with a reduction in volume of 50%. So those 3 to 7 weeks of running prior to the deload should generally include about 80% of easy-paced running, so this is going at a very manageable pace that you can comfortably hold a conversation at, and the remaining 20% at a higher intensity where you are focusing on increasing speed and power. Then, during the deload week, the distance or time in which you run is cut in half, while still keeping the ratio of around 80% easy running and 20% faster, more anaerobic level running. So what exactly do you do on a deload week? So a deload week is about taking the pressure off yourself and soaking up the hard training you have put in the previous few weeks or months. This is also a great opportunity to focus on a more diverse range of training skills. If you're always running, this will gradually take a toll on what the rest of your body is capable of in terms of other movement patterns. So during a deload week, as you're running less and your legs feel fresher, this is a perfect time to test your body in other ways. This can be things like testing how high or far you can jump. You may want to lift more weights or go for more bike rides. You may want to work on more mobility in this time or any other form of movement. Alternatively, if you are in need of some well-deserved rest, then simply resting may be your best option here instead of varying up your training. So it's very important to listen to your body and give it the extra rest if it's needed. Now, the reason behind adding in more variety of movements is that the more we expose our bodies to, the more adaptable they become. This will develop a more well-rounded and athletic body. This means less chance of injury over time and allows you to continue to improve your running safely. So longevity of health is the name of the game when it comes to running or any other physical endeavour. If we are not recovering correctly, and if we are also neglecting the rest of our body, then simply running will not cut it. A more holistic and cohesive approach is needed for long-term healthy running results. This also keeps training fun while allowing you to explore and experience the rest of what your body is capable of. This is also beneficial for our motivation levels and mental health, as we can safely and consistently improve our running over time without getting injured or burnt out in the process. Now, if you need some ideas on where to get started with your strength training, you can check out my other videos on this channel for some strength routines. Now I want to talk about a few different signs or signals your body may be trying to communicate to you that will let you know when you are in need of a deload week. So like I mentioned earlier, depending on many other factors, a general rule of thumb is performing a deload week every 4 to 8 weeks. So these next few signals that I'm going to discuss are just going to provide you a little bit more clarity as to when to decide how frequent your deload weeks should be. So the first signal is if you have a minor but also nagging niggle that won't go away. As athletes and just general fitness enthusiasts, there is always going to be a little bit of aches and pains that come with the territory. When it comes to running, if we have persisting pains that aren't completely immobilizing but are constantly there speaking to us during every run, these certainly need to be addressed so they do not develop into a long-term injury. You may have symptoms such as sore ankles, shins, knees, hips or back, etc. If we're feeling some constant pain in these areas that won't seem to go away, this is a perfect example where you may just have a light muscle or tendon strain built up from consistent running training. And a lot of the time, if the strain isn't too serious, all you need to do is dial your training back for a week and you'll be good to go again. So it is also a good opportunity to look at other reasons behind the pain. So you may want to add in a bit of myofascial release in the form of a foam roller, release ball or massage gun. You may also want to add in a bit more specific strength training to target this weak area in the body that is giving you problems during your run. So adding in these frequent deloads allows you to address problem areas without having to completely stop your training altogether. This will promote healing and allow you to come back stronger every month or two after your deload. Now the next signal you may want to look out for is if you're feeling mentally exhausted and less enthusiastic towards your running than normal. So these are early warning signs that you may be headed to some form of a burnout. You may have other stresses in your life that are pulling you in different directions, or you may simply be physically exhausted from all of your running training without even realizing it. Now I've certainly been there myself, and I was generally too stubborn, so I ignored the warning signs and I was either hit with injury or burnout. And neither of these things are going to help us with long-term results. So it's very important that if we feel these warning signs coming on, then a simple deload week, reducing our workload by 50%, will get us feeling refreshed, let our body and our mind heal, and we can just carry on our training and continue to improve. And so the third signal that I wish to discuss is if you find your workout performance either plateauing or going backwards. So this means that during your harder, faster sessions, such as tempo runs or interval workouts or fartlek workouts for example, your general performance is either stuck in a plateau or in some cases is going backwards, and you are struggling to run at the same speed as usual. Now this is generally a sign that either your body is overworked and is due for a deload, or you may even need to revise your training plan as you may be doing too much or too little of certain practices to optimize your time. And deloads are a great opportunity to revise your training plan and make small tweaks to it here and there based on how your current training is progressing. Like I mentioned earlier, you may need to add in some more specific strength training, increase other recovery practices like myofascial release, or change up your ratios of easy runs to hard runs, for example. So for now, just a quick recap of the video. So a deload week is a week spent training at about 50% of the level of your regular training weeks. We usually want to go through a deload every 4 to 8 weeks. This is, however, a very individualized scenario depending on our lifestyle, training intensity, training experience, etc. So to make it simpler as to when to decide on a deload, you can look for those three main signals that I spoke about earlier, which are if you have a nagging area of the body that isn't a full-blown injury but just won't seem to go away, you may be in need of a deload. Another sign is if you find yourself mentally burnt out and not as enthusiastic towards your training as usual, or if your performance is simply suffering and you feel like you are either plateauing or going backwards, this may be a sign that you're in need of a deload. So I really hope this video was helpful. Personally speaking, regular deloads have given my training a tremendous boost in recent times. Deloads allow us to be more in tune with our bodies, keep our training fresh and fun, and dramatically reduce chance of injury. They also provide us a bit of downtime to assess our training and see where we need to make any changes, which can be often hard if we're too far deep in the trenches of a training program. So with that being said, that is all for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.